Jay-Z has spent decades building an image nobody thought could ever crack. Billionaire mogul, hip-hop icon, business mastermind. The man who always stayed calm under pressure no matter what scandal, rumor, or controversy came his way. But according to explosive claims now spreading across social media and courtroom discussions, that image may have finally shattered. Because an alleged paternity battle tied to a man claiming to be Jay-Z's secret son has suddenly exploded back into public view, and the details coming out are sending the internet into complete meltdown. For years, people laughed the story off. Some called it clout chasing. Others dismissed it as internet gossip. But now, fans are asking a terrifying question. Why has this situation followed Jay-Z for so long if there's nothing to hide? And according to rumors circulating online, one explosive courtroom moment allegedly changed everything. Claims began spreading that discussions surrounding DNA evidence and legal filings triggered an emotional reaction nobody expected from Jay-Z publicly. Witnesses allegedly described tension so heavy inside the room that people stopped breathing for a moment. Then suddenly, the untouchable billionaire image started collapsing in front of everyone. But this story gets even darker. Because now social media detectives are digging through years of lawsuits, interviews, alleged settlements, old statements, and cryptic celebrity reactions trying to figure out what the truth really is. And once the internet started connecting the dots, things spiraled fast. Fans are now questioning whether power, fame, and influence helped keep this story buried for decades. Old clips are resurfacing. Celebrity blogs are posting cryptic messages. And people online are now debating whether this could become the most damaging personal controversy of Jay-Z's entire career. Because if even half these allegations are true, then the man who spent years controlling the narrative may have just lost control completely. To understand why this alleged paternity situation exploded the internet the way it did, you have to understand something about Jay-Z first. For decades, Jay-Z wasn't just a rapper. He became an image, an empire, a symbol of power, intelligence, control, and success. Everything about his public persona looked calculated perfectly. From the music to the billion-dollar business deals, from the marriage to Beyoncé to the way he carried himself publicly, Jay-Z always seemed 10 steps ahead of everybody else. That's why this story hit people so hard emotionally. Because the allegations don't just attack his reputation. They attack the idea that he's always been in control. And according to the man at the center of this controversy, Rhyme, that control allegedly came at the cost of years of silence, emotional pain, and unanswered questions. Now for years, rumors about Jay-Z allegedly fathering a secret child floated around online quietly. Sometimes blogs mentioned it. Sometimes internet forums discussed it. But mainstream audiences mostly ignored it because Jay-Z's public image felt almost untouchable. Too powerful. Too protected. Too successful. And honestly, many people assumed nothing serious would ever come from the claims. But according to lawsuits and public interviews tied to the allegations, Rhyme repeatedly pushed for one thing over and over again. The truth. That emotional angle became the core reason this story gained traction online. Because instead of aggressively demanding money publicly, interviews connected to the situation often focused on identity, fatherhood, emotional abandonment, and wanting acknowledgement. That made the internet react differently. People started emotionally connecting to the story. Especially once details about Rhyme's upbringing allegedly started surfacing publicly. According to statements connected to the case, Rhyme claimed his mother told him from a young age that Jay-Z, whose real name is Sean Carter, was allegedly his biological father. And once audiences heard that, the emotional weight of the story changed immediately. Because now people weren't just hearing random lawsuit against celebrity. They were hearing child grows up believing one of the biggest men in music is his father. Huge difference emotionally. Then things became even more controversial. According to allegations connected to the legal battle, Rhyme's side accused Jay-Z of avoiding direct resolution through years of legal maneuvering and procedural fights. Now whether those claims are true remains heavily disputed. Jay-Z's legal team has publicly denied the allegations repeatedly and described the situation as harassment. But online? The denials only fueled more speculation. Because social media always asks the same dangerous question in stories like this. If it's completely false, why has this gone on so long? That question became gasoline for conspiracy theories. Then another detail made the story even more explosive. Rainier's mother allegedly passed away years ago. That changed public sympathy dramatically. Because suddenly audiences viewed the story through a much sadder lens. A man searching for answers about his identity after losing his mother. That emotional framing hit social media hard. Especially once clips surfaced of Rainier speaking calmly and emotionally about simply wanting acknowledgement and closure rather than revenge. Fans started dividing into two sides instantly. One side defended Jay-Z aggressively. They argued powerful celebrities constantly face lawsuits, false claims, and opportunists chasing attention. Others believed the emotional consistency of Rainier's public statements made the allegations feel difficult to completely dismiss emotionally. And once that split happened online, the situation exploded. Then came the celebrity reactions. And honestly, that's where things started becoming dangerous for Jay-Z's public image. Because once podcasters, bloggers, live streamers, and controversial media personalities began discussing the allegations publicly, the story stopped feeling like internet gossip and started becoming mainstream conversation. People began revisiting old Jay-Z interviews differently. Old lyrics got analyzed again. Past scandals resurfaced. Even completely unrelated controversies connected to powerful figures in entertainment started getting dragged into the conversation. And the more the internet talked, the bigger the story became. Then came the most explosive narrative of all. The alleged DNA test discussions. Now it's important to understand something. Online storytelling around this situation became heavily dramatized and speculative very quickly. Claims spread rapidly across blogs and social media about courtroom moments, emotional reactions, and alleged DNA-related developments. Whether every viral version online is accurate or exaggerated became almost impossible for casual viewers to separate. But emotionally, the damage online was already done. Because people became obsessed with one image. Jay-Z allegedly losing composure publicly after years of appearing emotionally untouchable. That image spread everywhere. And once audiences emotionally accepted that narrative, the story transformed from a legal dispute into a symbolic, empire collapse moment online. Then another emotional layer entered the conversation. Beyoncé. The second fans started imagining how these allegations could impact Jay-Z's marriage, family image, and billionaire power couple reputation. The story exploded into another level entirely. People began asking, what did Beyoncé know? How long has this situation existed privately? Could this affect their family publicly? And once those questions entered social media, the internet lost control. Especially because Jay-Z and Beyoncé spent years presenting one of the most powerful celebrity family images in entertainment history. Success, luxury, stability, legacy. But stories involving alleged secret children attacked that image directly. That's why fans became so emotionally invested. Then another dangerous conversation started spreading online. Power, influence, control. People began debating whether billionaires and entertainment moguls possess the ability to quietly suppress damaging stories for years. That conversation went way beyond Jay-Z. Suddenly audiences were discussing media influence, celebrity protection, powerful legal teams, and how fame shapes public narratives. And once the story became symbolic of power hiding truth, the internet became addicted to it. Then came the emotional turning point that changed everything. Instead of focusing only on celebrity scandal, people started focusing on fatherhood, identity, recognition, abandonment. That emotional shift made the story feel human instead of just sensational. Especially once clips circulated of Rainier speaking emotionally about wanting answers and closure. Some viewers started seeing him not as a clout chaser, but as someone emotionally exhausted from years of fighting publicly for acknowledgement. And whether people believed him or not, that emotional framing became incredibly powerful online. Then the internet started asking the question Jay-Z's supporters feared most. What if this story never disappears? Because unlike many celebrity scandals that fade away quickly, this one allegedly kept resurfacing repeatedly across years, lawsuits, interviews, and online debates. That persistence made people curious. And curiosity turned into obsession. Then came the moment that allegedly changed everything publicly. Rumors exploded online that legal discussions surrounding DNA evidence and courtroom developments triggered an emotional reaction from Jay-Z nobody expected to ever witness publicly. Whether exaggerated or not, that narrative became the emotional centerpiece of the entire controversy. Because suddenly the untouchable mogul no longer looked untouchable. He looked human, vulnerable, cornered. And according to whispers spreading online afterward, some people allegedly believe this story may still be far from over. The moment the alleged courtroom revelations tied to Jay-Z started spreading online, the internet completely exploded. Because suddenly this wasn't just another celebrity rumor anymore. This became a full-blown public war over truth, power, legacy, and hidden secrets. At the center of everything was Raimier, the man who has spent years claiming Jay-Z is his biological father. And according to public interviews and legal filings connected to the situation, Raimier insisted repeatedly that all he wanted was acknowledgement and answers. But once social media grabbed hold of the story again, everything escalated fast. People started digging into decades-old allegations, legal disputes, withdrawn filings, celebrity commentary, and alleged behind-the-scenes pressure tied to the controversy. And honestly, the deeper the internet looked, the messier the story became. Then came the first major conflict. Jay-Z's legal team publicly pushed back hard against the allegations, describing the claims as fabricated and pointing toward prior court dismissals and procedural issues. But online, that defense strategy actually made people more suspicious. Because social media immediately interpreted the legal resistance emotionally instead of legally. People began asking, if this story is nonsense, why fight it this aggressively? That question spread everywhere. TikTok videos started breaking down timelines. YouTube live streams began analyzing court filings. Twitter Spaces turned into non-stop arguments between Jay-Z supporters and people convinced something deeper was being hidden. And then came the twist that completely changed the emotional tone of the story. Instead of aggressively attacking Jay-Z publicly, Raimier appeared emotional, calm, and almost exhausted in interviews connected to the controversy. That emotional presentation shocked people. Because audiences expected anger. They expected extortion energy. They expected drama. Instead, many viewers saw someone repeatedly saying, "I just want the truth." That line became the emotional engine driving the story viral. Suddenly people weren't only focused on Jay-Z anymore. They focused on the emotional pain behind the allegations. Growing up without answers. Watching a global superstar from afar. Feeling publicly dismissed for years. Whether people believed the claims or not, that emotional framing hit audiences hard. Then came another explosive twist. According to online rumors and podcast discussions tied to the controversy, some individuals allegedly claimed Jay-Z once considered private financial resolution discussions surrounding the situation years ago. Now none of those claims were confirmed publicly in any definitive way. But once social media heard the word settlement, everything spiraled. Because to the internet, settlement rumors sound like guilt. Right or wrong, that's how online audiences think emotionally. And suddenly conspiracy theories exploded everywhere. People posted, "Why pay anything if it's fake? You know something. This story bigger than people think." Then another dangerous layer entered the narrative. The underage allegations. According to discussions tied to the claims, Raimier's mother was allegedly underage during the period connected to the accusations. That single detail transformed the controversy completely. Because now the story wasn't only about a hidden child anymore. It became tied to questions people found deeply disturbing morally. And once that happened, the internet became absolutely vicious. Some people defended Jay-Z fiercely and argued none of the allegations had been proven conclusively. Others believed the alleged avoidance of direct DNA resolution looked suspicious emotionally. The debates became brutal online. Then came the courtroom breakdown narrative. This is where the story reached another level of virality. According to heavily dramatized online retellings tied to the controversy, discussions surrounding DNA-related developments allegedly triggered an emotional moment from Jay-Z in court. Now, whether every detail circulating online is accurate became impossible to verify fully because social media sensationalized the story heavily. But emotionally, the image already took over the internet. People pictured the billionaire mogul, the untouchable businessman, the man who always controlled every room, suddenly looking vulnerable publicly. That image spread like wildfire. Memes exploded. Reaction videos flooded YouTube. TikTok edits with dramatic music went viral overnight. And the more people repeated the "empire collapsing" narrative, the more powerful it became emotionally. Then another twist made things even worse for Jay-Z publicly. Fans began revisiting his entire public image differently. Old interviews resurfaced. Lyrics got analyzed. Past infidelity scandals involving Beyoncé returned to public discussion again. People started asking, how much has been hidden for years? That question became incredibly dangerous for his brand. Because Jay-Z's reputation wasn't built only on music. It was built on control. The idea that he always stayed ahead of controversy. The idea that he mastered the game better than everyone else. But now, the internet suddenly viewed him as someone possibly running from something instead. And that emotional shift changed everything. Then came the Beyoncé factor. The second audiences imagined how these allegations could impact Jay-Z's marriage publicly. The controversy exploded into another level entirely. People flooded social media debating. Would Beyoncé stay silent? Did she already know? Could this damage their family image permanently? And once fans started emotionally inserting Beyoncé into the story, the media frenzy became unstoppable. Because together, Jay-Z and Beyoncé represented more than celebrities. They represented modern entertainment royalty. Power. Luxury. Perfection. Legacy. So allegations involving a possible secret child directly threatened that carefully built image. Then another major conflict emerged online. People started debating whether billionaires and powerful celebrities can quietly manipulate legal systems, media attention, and public narratives. That conversation grew much larger than Jay-Z himself. Now audiences discussed celebrity privilege, wealth protection, power structures, and media influence. And once the story became symbolic of truth versus power, the internet became emotionally addicted to it. Then came perhaps the saddest emotional twist of all. According to interviews tied to the situation, Rymir repeatedly insisted he never hated Jay-Z and wasn't chasing money. That emotional restraint shocked viewers. Because audiences expected revenge energy. Instead, they saw someone appearing emotionally exhausted after years of public ridicule and legal battles. That made many people sympathize with him emotionally even if they remained unsure about the allegations themselves. Then another disturbing question started spreading online. What if this story never fully goes away? That possibility terrified Jay-Z supporters. Because every few years the controversy resurfaces again publicly. And every time it returns, the internet grows more suspicious. Then came the first truly shocking twist. Instead of the controversy fading quietly again, it started becoming tied to broader discussions about Jay-Z's character, legacy, and personal morality. That shift made the stakes much bigger. Now people weren't debating, is Rymir telling the truth? They were debating, who is Jay-Z really behind the empire? And honestly, that question became the most dangerous part of the entire story. Because once audiences start questioning the person behind the public image, controlling the narrative becomes almost impossible. Then came whispers online suggesting more legal drama, more filings, and more alleged evidence discussions could still emerge later. That possibility sent social media into another frenzy. Because if this controversy keeps evolving publicly, people fear the damage to Jay-Z's image could become permanent. And according to fake insider chatter spreading online late at night, some individuals allegedly believe the real story behind this alleged paternity battle still hasn't fully come out yet. After the alleged courtroom fallout tied to Jay-Z started dominating social media, the situation somehow became even more explosive. Because once the internet smelled vulnerability around someone as powerful as Jay-Z, people started digging through everything. Old interviews, business relationships, past scandals, lyrics, public statements. Even decade-old rumors people once ignored suddenly came roaring back to life. And according to fake insider chatter spreading online, several people inside the entertainment industry allegedly became nervous watching how quickly the narrative spiraled out of control. Because this wasn't just another celebrity scandal anymore. This was turning into a symbolic empire collapse story online. Then came the first major escalation. Social media users started revisiting old moments involving Beyoncé and Jay-Z's marriage. And once that happened, the internet exploded. People started analyzing Beyoncé's body language in interviews. Old lyrics from Lemonade resurfaced again. Fans replayed clips discussing infidelity and betrayal from years earlier. And suddenly audiences started asking a terrifying question. If those scandals were true, what else could have been hidden privately all these years? That question became incredibly dangerous online. Because once audiences emotionally connect one controversy to another, the speculation multiplies fast. Then another shocking narrative started spreading. According to online theories, some people allegedly believed Jay-Z's biggest fear wasn't financial damage. It was losing control of his image publicly. That theory gained traction instantly because Jay-Z spent decades presenting himself as untouchable, calm, calculated, always ahead. But now, the internet suddenly viewed him differently. Cornered, exposed, emotionally vulnerable. And once that image took hold online, it spread like wildfire. Then came the most viral emotional moment of the entire controversy. The alleged courtroom breakdown narrative. According to dramatized online retellings tied to the controversy, discussions surrounding DNA evidence and paternity allegations allegedly triggered an emotional reaction from Jay-Z nobody expected to ever witness publicly. Whether every version online was accurate almost stopped mattering emotionally, because the internet already accepted the symbolism of it. The billionaire mogul finally losing composure publicly after years of controlling every narrative around him. That image became the emotional centerpiece of the entire story. TikTok edits exploded overnight. Reaction channels gained massive views. YouTube live streams titled "Jay-Z Finally Exposed" started trending everywhere. And then another twist made things even darker. People started focusing less on the paternity allegations themselves, and more on the idea of power hiding truth. That conversation became massive online, because audiences started debating whether wealth and influence allow celebrities to quietly delay, suppress, or outlast damaging controversies. And once Jay-Z became the face of that conversation, the story transformed into something much bigger than celebrity gossip. Now people viewed it as truth versus money, truth versus power, truth versus influence. That emotional framing made the controversy almost impossible to escape online. Then came another dangerous escalation. Several podcast personalities and live streamers began discussing the allegations openly, with some arguing Jay-Z's legal responses looked overly aggressive emotionally. Others defended him and pointed out that powerful people constantly face false accusations and lawsuits publicly. That split turned social media into a battlefield. Supporters posted, "No proof. This is harassment." People chasing clout, But critics responded, then why not settle the truth publicly? Why does this story keep returning? He never fully kills the rumors. And honestly, that endless uncertainty became the fuel keeping the story alive. Then came another emotional reveal. According to interviews tied to the controversy, Raimi repeatedly described growing up hearing his mother insist Jay-Z was his father. That emotional consistency affected audiences deeply, because even people skeptical of the allegations admitted the emotional pain sounded real. Especially once Raimi spoke about growing up watching Jay-Z become a global icon while allegedly feeling ignored personally. That emotional contrast devastated some viewers. A billionaire building an empire publicly, while another man allegedly spent years searching for acknowledgement privately. Whether true or not, that framing hit audiences hard emotionally. Then came another shocking reveal tied to the online narrative. People began discussing inheritance, family legacy, and what the allegations could potentially mean symbolically for Jay-Z's carefully built dynasty. And once conversations shifted toward legacy, the controversy became much bigger. Because Jay-Z's empire isn't only music. It's business, family branding, corporate partnerships, cultural influence. And according to online speculation, people feared the allegations could permanently stain the polished image surrounding all of it. Then another dangerous question started trending online. Did Jay-Z know all along? That question spread everywhere. No proof. No confirmed answer. Just speculation. But emotionally? The damage was already happening. Because audiences began imagining secret conversations, hidden legal pressure, and decades of avoidance behind closed doors. That's what made the story feel cinematic. Then came another emotional escalation involving Beyoncé. Fans started debating whether this situation could become the breaking point for the Carter family publicly. Now again, much of this discussion remained speculative online. But the internet became addicted to imagining the emotional fallout privately. People posted, "How do you explain this to your kids? What happens to the family image now? This bigger than cheating rumors." That emotional speculation made the story feel incredibly personal despite involving global celebrities. Then came perhaps the darkest theory yet. According to fake insider chatter spreading online late at night, some individuals allegedly believed there were people inside entertainment circles who feared more hidden stories connected to powerful figures could eventually surface publicly too. That theory terrified social media. Because once audiences believe one untouchable figure can fall, they start questioning everyone. And that's exactly what happened. The controversy stopped being only about Jay-Z. It became symbolic of celebrity secrecy itself. Then another disturbing narrative started spreading online. Some people allegedly believed Jay-Z's biggest mistake wasn't the allegations, but allowing the controversy to emotionally linger publicly for years instead of resolving it decisively. That argument gained huge traction. Because whether people believed the claims or not, they couldn't ignore how long the situation continued resurfacing publicly. And every time it returned, more people paid attention. Then came the emotional climax of this stage of the controversy. According to dramatized retellings tied to the allegations, the idea of Jay-Z allegedly breaking down publicly became symbolic of a man finally losing control over a truth he supposedly spent decades trying to suppress. That narrative became incredibly powerful online. Because audiences love one thing more than success stories: watching untouchable people finally look human. And now the internet wasn't only watching a billionaire mogul anymore. They believed they were watching the dismantling of a myth in real time. But despite all the rumors, all the debates, all the viral reactions, one terrifying question still remained unanswered. What happens if even more information connected to this controversy eventually comes out publicly? The second the alleged paternity revelations tied to Jay-Z started trending again online, social media completely lost control. And honestly, the reactions were split into pure chaos. Twitter turned into a war zone instantly. One side defended Jay-Z aggressively, The other side treated the controversy like the final collapse of a billionaire empire. There was no middle ground. Fans flooded timelines posting clips of Jay-Z's greatest career moments alongside captions like, "From Marcy to billionaire, don't let rumors destroy greatness." But critics immediately fired back. Power can't hide truth forever. That battle exploded everywhere. TikTok creators started making dramatic, timeline breakdown videos analyzing every twist connected to the allegations. YouTube live streams pulled massive numbers discussing DNA rumors, courtroom narratives, and the emotional interviews tied to the controversy. Instagram blogs posted non-stop cryptic captions like, "The truth always comes out eventually." And every single post pushed the story deeper into the mainstream. Then came the emotional reactions. That's where things really intensified. Because once clips circulated of Raimier emotionally discussing wanting acknowledgement and answers rather than money, many viewers started sympathizing with him emotionally regardless of what they believed legally. Comments flooded social media saying, "He sound hurt, not greedy. That man just want answers. This sad either way." That emotional framing changed the entire tone of public conversation. Especially because people began imagining what it would feel like growing up believing one of the most powerful men in music was your father while never receiving acknowledgement publicly. Whether true or not, that emotional narrative hit audiences hard. Then came the celebrity reactions. And honestly, some of them made the controversy even worse. Several podcasters and entertainment personalities began openly discussing the allegations during interviews and live streams. Some defended Jay-Z strongly, while others questioned why the controversy had lasted so many years publicly if there was absolutely nothing behind it. That debate became endless online. One side argued, "Famous people get sued constantly." The other side responded, "Then why this story keep resurfacing?" And once audiences became emotionally invested in that question, the internet couldn't let the story go. Then the Beyoncé conversations exploded. The second fans started discussing how this controversy could allegedly impact Beyoncé emotionally and publicly. The media frenzy multiplied instantly. People revisited Lemonade lyrics again. Old cheating scandals resurfaced. Fans began debating whether Beyoncé already knew about everything privately. That speculation spread like wildfire. Comments flooded blogs saying, "She been holding that family together. This bigger than infidelity. What happens to the image now?" And because Beyoncé and Jay-Z represent one of entertainment's most powerful marriages publicly, the emotional stakes felt massive. Then another controversial reaction appeared online. Some fans started attacking Raimier aggressively. They accused him of chasing fame, money, and clout. That backlash became brutal at times. But supporters quickly defended him by reposting interviews where he repeatedly denied wanting money and focused on emotional closure instead. That clash became one of the biggest emotional divides surrounding the controversy. Then came the DNA obsession. The internet became absolutely addicted to discussing the alleged paternity test narratives tied to the story. Even though much of the online storytelling became heavily dramatized and speculative, audiences emotionally treated it like a movie climax. Reaction videos exploded. TikTok edits with sad music and courtroom imagery flooded timelines. People started saying, "If this true, it changes everything." And that phrase became the emotional core of the controversy online. Because Jay-Z wasn't viewed as just another rapper. He represented success itself. Control. Legacy. Power. So allegations threatening that image naturally created massive emotional reactions. Then came the industry fear. According to fake insider chatter spreading online, some individuals inside entertainment allegedly worried the controversy could permanently damage Jay-Z's carefully built, untouchable mogul image. That possibility shocked fans. Because for decades, Jay-Z seemed almost immune to scandals destroying his reputation publicly. But now, people were openly questioning his personal character online. That shift felt historic emotionally. Then another reaction trend exploded. The power versus truth debate. Audiences started discussing whether billionaires and entertainment moguls can allegedly delay or suppress damaging stories through legal influence and media control. That conversation went far beyond Jay-Z himself. Suddenly the controversy became symbolic of broader distrust toward celebrity power structures. And once the story became larger than one man, the internet became obsessed. Then came perhaps the saddest public reactions of all. Some viewers openly admitted the controversy changed how they viewed Jay-Z emotionally forever. Not necessarily because they fully believed every allegation, but because the story shattered the perfect control image surrounding him. One viral comment read, "He don't look untouchable anymore." That line spread everywhere, because it captured the emotional shift happening publicly in real time. Then mainstream media entered the conversation fully. News outlets began discussing the lawsuits, online reactions, and emotional fallout tied to the allegations. And once mainstream coverage intensified, the controversy stopped feeling like internet gossip completely. Now it felt like a permanent stain attached to Jay-Z's public legacy, whether true, exaggerated, or unresolved. Then came another dangerous public reaction. People started wondering, what else don't we know? That question terrified fans. Because once audiences begin questioning the hidden side of powerful celebrities, they rarely stop at one controversy. And according to rumors still spreading online right now, some people allegedly believe this story could become even more explosive if future legal developments or hidden information ever surfaces publicly. Just when people thought the controversy surrounding Jay-Z couldn't get any more explosive, another terrifying theory started spreading online. And honestly, this one shook even longtime Jay-Z supporters. Because according to fake insider chatter circulating across blogs, live streams, and late-night Twitter spaces, some individuals allegedly believe the real reason this story became such a long legal battle has nothing to do with money at all. They believe it's about fear. Fear of what a confirmed connection could allegedly mean for Jay-Z's legacy. Fear of how the public might reinterpret decades of his carefully built image. And fear of what other secrets people might start questioning afterward. That theory exploded everywhere online. Because once audiences emotionally accepted the idea that this controversy threatened Jay-Z's entire public identity, the story stopped feeling like a lawsuit. It started feeling like the collapse of a myth. Then another disturbing narrative gained traction. People began revisiting how often Jay-Z publicly emphasized control, strategy, intelligence, and always staying 10 steps ahead throughout his career. And now, the internet suddenly viewed this controversy as the only thing he allegedly couldn't fully control. That emotional reversal fascinated audiences, especially younger fans who had only ever known Jay-Z as an untouchable billionaire mogul. But then came another twist nobody expected. Instead of the controversy fading away quietly, it kept becoming more emotional. Because once people watched interviews tied to Raimier discussing identity, abandonment, and wanting closure, many viewers emotionally connected to him regardless of whether they fully believed every allegation. That emotional sympathy became incredibly dangerous for Jay-Z publicly. Because emotionally, people forgive mistakes, but they struggle to forgive perceived abandonment. And once that emotional framing spread online, the controversy became much harder to dismiss casually. Then came another terrifying rumor. According to fake insider whispers spreading online late at night, some individuals allegedly believed there could still be unseen legal documents, private communications, or hidden details connected to the controversy that the public hasn't fully seen yet. Now again, none of that was confirmed. But once the internet heard the words hidden evidence, sealed information, private settlements, everything spiraled again. Conspiracy videos flooded YouTube. TikTok creators claimed they were connecting hidden dots. People started treating the controversy like a mystery documentary unfolding in real time. And honestly, that uncertainty became addictive online. Then came perhaps the most emotionally devastating realization of all. Some fans admitted the story changed how they viewed Jay-Z permanently, not necessarily because they believed every allegation beyond doubt, but because the controversy shattered the illusion that he was untouchable. That emotional shift mattered, because for decades Jay-Z represented success, discipline, control, power, perfection. Now, the internet viewed him through suspicion instead. And once public perception changes emotionally, it's almost impossible to fully reverse. Then came another explosive conversation involving Beyoncé. Fans started debating whether this controversy could quietly affect the Carter family behind closed doors even if they never address it publicly. That speculation exploded instantly. People posted, "No family survives rumors like this untouched. This bigger than cheating scandals. Imagine carrying this publicly for years." And once audiences emotionally imagined the private fallout, the story became even more dramatic. Then another shocking twist spread online. Some commentators began arguing the controversy symbolized something much darker about celebrity culture itself. The idea that powerful figures can allegedly shape narratives for years until the internet finally forces uncomfortable conversations into public view. That theory became huge, because now the story wasn't only about Jay-Z anymore. It became symbolic of power versus accountability, money versus truth, fame versus reality. And once audiences framed the controversy that way, the emotional intensity exploded again. Then came the darkest theory yet. According to fake insider chatter spreading across live streams and entertainment blogs, some individuals allegedly believe there are still people privately encouraging Rhymer to keep fighting publicly no matter how long it takes. That possibility terrified Jay-Z supporters, because if the legal and public battle continues resurfacing every few years, the controversy may never disappear from his legacy completely. And honestly, that may be the scariest part of all. Not one courtroom moment, not one headline, not one viral clip, but the idea that this story could follow Jay-Z forever. Then came the final emotional twist. People started realizing the controversy had already accomplished something irreversible. It forced the world to question Jay-Z emotionally in a way they never had before. That alone changed everything. Because whether audiences believe the allegations or not, they are still talking about them, still debating them, still questioning them. And once a narrative enters public consciousness permanently, it becomes impossible to erase completely. Then came one final chilling question spreading across social media. What happens if another major revelation eventually surfaces publicly? A confirmed legal development? A private communication leak? Another interview? Another filing? Or maybe someone else connected to the controversy finally decides to speak openly. Nobody knows. And according to whispers still circulating online right now, some people allegedly believe this story is far from over. Because somewhere behind the lawsuits, the rumors, the emotional interviews, and the billion-dollar image, there may still be truths the public hasn't fully heard yet. And if those truths ever surface publicly, the fallout could become even bigger than anybody imagined. So now I've got to ask you, after everything surrounding Jay-Z, the alleged paternity battle, the emotional interviews, the courtroom rumors, and the non-stop internet speculation, what do you actually believe? Do you think this entire controversy has been exaggerated online for years? Or do you think there's a reason the story refuses to disappear no matter how many times people try to move past it? Because honestly, this situation feels way bigger than celebrity gossip at this point. It touches power, legacy, family, identity, and the idea that even the most untouchable people in entertainment may still have parts of their past they can't fully outrun. That's why the internet became so obsessed with this story. One side sees a billionaire icon being unfairly targeted by endless allegations. The other side sees a man allegedly searching for answers after years of emotional silence. And somewhere in the middle of all that chaos, the truth still feels emotionally unresolved for millions watching online. So I want you all in the comments right now. Do you think Jay-Z should publicly settle this situation once and for all? Do you believe power and fame can influence how stories get handled behind closed doors? And do you think this controversy permanently changed how people see Jay-Z publicly, even if nothing else is ever proven? Drop your real opinions below, because this might be one of the most controversial celebrity stories the internet has seen in years. And if you made it this far, don't forget to like this video and subscribe, because we've got more deep dives coming on celebrity scandals, hidden industry drama, courtroom chaos, billion-dollar secrets, and the stories powerful people allegedly never wanted fully exposed. Trust me, the next story might be even crazier than this one. Because according to rumors still spreading online, people connected to this controversy allegedly believe more twists could still emerge publicly in the future. And if that happens, the internet could completely explode all over again.